Juice Man 3941 coming back to you with episode 82 of the Gaming Roundtable. Today's episode is actually titled Secret Shit, because I was sitting around playing Dynasty Warriors 9 today, and I really love it. I just love the game. I keep seeing YouTube reviews about how people are disappointed and all this other shit. Once again, it's because you're not playing the game like an open world roleplay game. You're trying to treat it like a Dynasty Warriors game, but there you go. Anyway, I've already addressed that. Today's episode, I call it Secret Shit. This is what I'm going to talk about. This is my thing. Why is it that the industry is large? From Activision to EA, to Ubisoft, they're publishers, the three big publishers, THQ Nordic, they're another publisher, to like the gaming people that are underneath them, from BioWare to DICE and all that kind of stuff, and even CD Projekt Red is like this, and Bethesda, and all of them. They are so fucking secretive. There is zero transparency about why things are the way they are in gaming. Now, I addressed this before in my blog a long time ago. I didn't really understand why, if a game is very, very successful, then next thing you know, there's interviews and all this stuff, and they're talking about the development and all this other crap. If a game kind of fails, no one brings it back up. Even when there's hype and all that stuff. I never saw anybody go to Ubisoft and ask them, why did Watch Dogs 1? Why did you lie? Why did you do this? The only games that really got that kind of press was No Man's Sky. But that's because they've been hyping that shit for so long. And of course, the stuff that happened with Battlefield 2 with the loot boxes, there was a lot of negativity, and people went back and they had a lot of stuff to say. Although DICE and EA never really was re-interviewed about it. But the whole shit with the industry being secretive kills me. And I've had somebody tell me, well, that's because, they're trying to, like, protect the game that they're making or coming out. They don't want someone to see it on the outside or hear about it and then borrow it and then comes out first or whatever. I get that. Trade secret kind of situation. But what's stupid about that is it's fucking not a secret. If you're a fucking game publisher that's publishing some company's game, and that game, we're doing a first-person shooter, it's going to be modern. Okay, well, you're basically got a couple things that you're going to make it like. It's either going to play like Call of Duty or something similar to that, a faster, more Twitch kind of gameplay mechanics, or it's going to be a little bit more steeped in realism like Battlefield 4 or whatever, or even Hardline for that matter. But you're going to make your game approachable in that way. You're not going to blatantly copy it. I mean, here's a good example. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Yes, this was a Kickstarter program and all that other stuff, but clearly the Skyrim influences are there. Even though it's medieval, and even though the combat's different, and even though it's a very different game structurally speaking, many times playing it, riding a horse and going here and there, it just kind of had a Skyrim-like vibe. And that's the problem. Trade secrets. Why the secret shit all the fucking time? Why can't you just tell us? My favorite thing that the publishers do is how they say, well, we shipped 7 million units. We shipped 7 million Battlefront 2 units. We shipped 7 million. Wow. And everybody goes, wow, they shipped 7 million units. Shipped, not sold. There's a big difference between that. But when asked, well, how many units did you sell? They clam up about it. They won't fucking say. And let's say they sold 10 million, like more than they shipped. Let's say they kept having to ship it because it sold so well. They still don't talk about it. They don't talk about the numbers of what was sold, even if it's positive. They definitely don't talk about the negative. They won't even talk about the positive. It's so ridiculous. The secret shit really wears me out. And why is it that you quote unquote game journalists out there, IGN, Game Informer, that's owned by GameStop, by the way, and these other high-ranking kind of people, and I'm not talking about Angry Joe, I'm not talking about Jim Sterling, I'm not talking about any of the people that make money on YouTube doing it, because they would if they given a chance. They never will be given a chance. But the point is, why isn't it that you have a responsibility to go and report the story, even if it's negative? Why don't you go back to EA or Ubisoft or THQ Nordic or Activision, or even go to the source, go to the developer like Bungie or DICE and say, hey, so who told you to throttle the XP in Destiny 2? Was it really a coding program? Was it really a problem? Because it didn't throttle the XP before, and it didn't when it came out, but then it started doing that, which means someone went in and changed the source code. That's either, now, did someone from Bungie? Why, as a journalist, if you look at actual journalists, because gaming journalists, all you that are gaming journalists, you don't matter. You're just reporting on games. Big fucking deal. You're not out in fucking Afghanistan in the field where you could get shot. You're not real journalism. You're just not. And half of you never even went to school for this shit. What it was is you formed some rinky-dink site that blew up at some point, and now all of a sudden you're a journalist. If you didn't go to school for it, no, you're not. And my point in it, just like I'm not. I'm just a guy, a fan on the sidelines. That's all I am. I have no insider sight to anything, but I do talk about articles because I think it's important. And the secret shit, why didn't you go back to them? You previewed the shit out of Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Destiny 2. You know, you previewed the shit out of The Division. You went there, we saw video interviews where you went to the developer, you went to the publisher. We seen you talking to these people and interviews and articles and all this stuff. The game comes out and all the shit happens and blows up in that publisher's face. But instead of being a journalist and going back and following up with that story, like, hey, why did you throttle the XP? Why did you throttle the experience in Destiny 2? Why did you do it this way?